Counter-Strike. Everyone wants to watch some Counter-Strike. Nobody wants to look at me, basically. So our producer inside, my boss, obviously decided nobody wants to look at Squid anymore. We're going to put the game on, even though it's not live.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think I can hear him laughing. I hope I can.
I'd agree with that. Like, there's nothing to look at with the camera on us, but there's the restart. So I believe that we're hopping into the knife round right now, and knife round will mean a lot, definitely. Na'Vi versus Big right here. This is where it all gets decided. This is where one of these teams will be able to take the best of three, take a little bit of money home, and obviously the one spot, the Farmskins WCA 2017 last stage of the tournament. Na'Vi will win the knife round, will start on the CT side, and Squid mentioned how the first half could be the dominant one and the second would only be about closing it all out, and it definitely points towards Na'Vi if it's supposed to be the case.
Yeah, certainly did. And I think Na'Vi, their CT side, now we know the specifics, we can kind of drill down into it. I think Flame is going to be a very important player. Plays that B site, hits those headshots. He needs to be stepping up today if they're going to close this out, if they're going to go to WCA 2017. Big, on the other hand, they have to abuse him. In with the pistols, in with these nades. Lots of nades, in fact, for Big. Smoke double flash on next. Got B throwing a flash out already. Has the Molotov as well. This is meant for this B site. Na'Vi do have the smoke, though, to actually counter it. The smoke kit combination to go for a fast defuse here on B. But an entry frag comes through to Big, and they're going to storm onto this B site. Nice fast Molotov on through, in fact. It's going to be used for Connector to cut off these rotations for Na'Vi, slow them down in this 4 versus 3. Looks like Big might be able to nail it.
Yeah, there is big chance. The first kill that's gone into the hands of Flamey wasn't the hardest one. Legia pretty much giving up his life right there with a CT up close and him making a lot of noise and even peeking out and showing himself. But back to 3-on-3. Na'Vi are still capable of taking some kills. Simple with one, but then he loses his teammate Electronic, who was just such a strong point in the previous map. But overpass so long. It's taken so long for Tapson to take that kill, but then he had to take care instantly of Simple inside of the smoke. Indeed, with a defuse kit, was trying to get rid of that bomb, was trying to get the pistol round for his team. That's not worked out, but we had this situation happen a lot of times today. A team winning the pistol, but right after, the other guys bouncing back with a force buy. So there's still some hope for Na'Vi to create that initial advantage on the CT side and possibly taking 10 or maybe even more rounds. But for now, Legia says no.
Clearly a firm, fast quad kill for Tabson, obviously, in that pistol round. Keith going to storm back onto this B site once again. Mac 10 in hand, lots of money in his pocket. Cannot find these frags early on, but Simple, Zeus, they might have already done the damage. These pistols drawing in, and Keith's got to do big work up close with this Mac 10. As Simple with this scout. Up close and personal. Going to hit that second tag as well. Down very low as Gobby storms through for 2. Finds both, and Simple's last in line, spots each other. Peekaboo has to fall back. Simple draws in. He's not even got a kit. As that nade rains in, there's the flash as well. Simple, he's just being played for time right now, held back into no man's land. He's not going to be able to find this frag. He's not going to be able to get this bomb plant, this defuse in. He does fire off a couple of fast shots, but can't connect. Big 2-0.
Will be indeed the terrorist team now finding their second round, and not even by the bomb's explosion. It was Simple going down to Gobby, who got 3 kills with a UMP 45. That's good. A great start for Gob himself, showing some proficiency with the SMG, also getting a pistol round kill a little bit earlier. He's sitting on 4-0-0. Back on Cobblestone, he would have half of this amount of kills after 15 rounds, after an entire half. Right here is looking so much better, but I'm a little bit afraid for Kiev still. He was struggling with that Mac 10 to get at least one takedown previously, and instantly after died, and could be the case over and over again. And they need an AWP. They need Kiev to perform right here. Also Legia in the pistol, completely demolished by Flamey right off the bat, and this time around in the second round he was the one to wreck Flamey in return. So maybe a little bit of a conflict between these two players in particular.
Obviously a stack on this B site. And Big are actually about to run into these pistols. Could do a lot of damage here. The Molotovs rain on through. Hope they stay and Kiev in with the MAC-10 first. But Tabson, Legia both finding frags, but they're getting ground up by these pistols. Electronic and Zeus find 3 apiece. But Big still hold it back. Lots of damage done. 2 AKs dropped. The MAC-10 as well. Didn't need the MAC-10, of course. But 2 AKs. Bit of damage done by Na'Vi. Keeping the Big economy honest. But still a 3-0 for the Germans.
Yep, and Big will have their economy dented a tiny bit, but it's not shredded yet. All is going to go down to this round, where we have Kiev with the AWP and Simple with the AWP on the other side. Simple playing with just a basic Kevlar. He had very little money. It was a little bit of a risk to go for that. They don't have a single defuse kit, I'll remind you. So Big definitely will be relying on a bomb plant a lot right here, but they don't know about it just yet, and they won't probably know about it until the very end. So the question is, what kind of decision is going to be called?
Yeah, I hate this. I'm not a big fan of not buying a kit. CT side of train, so easy to get that bomb down. You find yourself in so many afterplant situations in a 2v2, in a 3v3. Have to go for it in Na'Vi. I really don't like that. Electronic getting whittled down to 36. Simple taking a tag as well as Tabson. Up close and personal finds a headshot. There's a follow-up. Tabson with both. As Simple needs to burst out here, but caught in the back by Kiev. Leaves Zeus all alone. Lonely here with the M4. He's going to find a lonely frag, but traded back by Nex. 4-0 for Big. Clean sheet for them.
Yep, so indeed, this time around, you can see the economy's not going to be so bad for them. They're still building it up, and now at 4-0, so maybe what you talked about, that not so close of a map, that not so close of a result right here on Train, could be the other way around. Maybe it could be Big actually smashing Na'Vi into the ground on the third one. Maybe they got completely angry about not being able to close the best of 3 out on Overpass already. Maybe they were hoping for that 2-0. They just want to quickly go off Counter-Strike and have some pleasant evening. But
have some bratwurst. Have a bit of currywurst or something. I don't know what. Well, I do know what Germans do. It's those two things. 4-0, obviously, and just pistols this time. Na'Vi should try and do a little bit of damage here. Snuck up behind. That's Edward, but he gets counted out as well. Is Big. The first round that they've actually kept all players alive so far. Still a little bit of opportunity for at least Electronic to do a little bit of damage with the Deagle, with the Kevlar as well. But Big, you can see, taking this very slow and methodical, extremely meticulous with this site take. Na'Vi shouldn't be able to do all too much.
Just looking for the 2 last victims out there. Simple, nothing to save up. Electronic's got to deal with that Kevlar, so maybe that's some value. But Big, once again, not losing anything. This is going to favor them so much, talking about the money. 2,000 still remaining on tabs, and as we can see, I believe that there's another person with this amount of money, but some of them have more, and this is a perfect situation where they can get up to like 6k, guarantee themselves at least 2 full buys, even if they start losing finally against Na'Vi. But these rounds, it doesn't seem like they're about to go into the favor of the CIS team. Big have taken control completely right now. In the very beginning, it seemed a little bit closer, where Na'Vi would even do the damage with pistols, where they would take down a lot of people, but the full buy didn't work out for them. The eco now, completely not. And it's 5-0 for Big. This is the breaking point now. Simple once again with very weak equipment alongside with that AWP, though this time the rest of the team will provide the death kits, but still they might be lacking a couple of like key grenades at important moments if they throw themselves out of them instantly, because maybe they don't want Big to take control of the map like they did a little bit earlier. 7-0 would be a crushing scoreline, and that's what is awaiting us if Na'Vi don't win right now.
That was a good slam dunk. Straight on to got B, down to 63. We see 5 rounds in a row from Big. Na'Vi have to start to shut it down. Simple. Smoke out, maul it off, means he has to fall back. And Big draw a little bit closer to this A site. See Next just playing passive, attentively watching that smoke. As Legia waiting for Na'Vi to push and peek. This is what they usually do, Na'Vi. As soon as they start to feel the pressure, they sometimes do go for maybe stupid pushes, maybe pushes that they really don't have to go for when they've got full rifles. And Big seem to know this. That's why they're playing so back and passive. You can see Legia, this isn't a usual spot to be playing against a usual team, but Na'Vi, far from it. And in my opinion, that's what makes them so exciting. A couple of nades out onto A, and the rotate coming on through. Big about to make their approach.
Yeah, so as I said, might be lacking some of these grenades when it matters the most, but they still have 2 incendiaries, now 1 for 1. Electronic was able to catch Lecky up close, but Gabi with an instant reply. And Gabi, yeah, you were talking about that slam down, you were talking about him down to 62 HP, but on this map it doesn't matter so much. On this map, he's an active member of the team, he's doing a lot, he's helping them, he's getting these kills. Now, Simple with a reply, back from a 2v4 into a 2v2. And can they still retake this bomb site? They don't have a defuse kit anymore. Flamey and Simple were not the people that had them. They don't have them even in the nearest vicinity of this bomb site. Simple would have to go into the holes up there, and he doesn't even see Gut B as he was checking behind and around that bomb train. Not on top of his head. So Gob, 2 kills after initially taking, what, 40 points of damage? That's real nice, and it's so good to see him on the second spot in the team with 7 kills and only a single death this far. And as I mentioned, it could very easily be 7-0 right now, and it's just such a crushing scoreline. But yeah, we also have to mention that Big were able to pick up an advantage, pick up a lead on overpass, but still lost the first half.
Yeah, T-sided train, of course. You want to be racking up possibly double digits on the CT side. Na'Vi, that's not a possibility anymore, and we're only 7 rounds in. Next, getting up close and personal, stomping Simple back, who maybe had a bit of a lapse of concentration, not spotting Gobi on bomb train, looking to make the 1v2, but not able to happen. Na'Vi not quite on the scoreboard just yet with pistols once again. Electronic finally whipping out that kit. So they do have something to work with, but no rifles at all, just the CZs, 2 Deagles as well. Deagle's very powerful on train, of course, very long distance engagements. The close engagements as well, taken by Electronic, taken by, looking at the other side of the map, Edward, Simple, both up close and personal, but Big look to be making their final approach on this B site, with Zeus just waiting and watching it down with the CZ-75.
From behind, Zeus not paying attention. He was actually willing to push out at that exact moment. It was the worst timing he could have had. But with these pistols, they can hope for the surprises. They can hope for these aggressive pushes rather than to work out than just covering the angles efficiently. Now the bomb's planted. Keep down to 39. Maybe a possibility to score a kill over there. Simple also losing health through the smoke. As soon as he just fires the bullet, they know exactly what to do. Next even hits a headshot so accurately. And Edward, Electronic, Flamey. It would be actually better idea for Electronic to save up, as he's got a death kit alongside with Kevlar, so that's quite a bit of money. But the rest of the team's looking for these kills. And Edward, yes, that dink looked nice. I heard your reaction, but is it going to lead to a finisher on towards Legia? Apparently not, but he's going to find Tapson.
I made a little yelp when he hit that shot. Obviously, medium range for that CZ. Not able to salvage an AK-47 or a rifle in total at the end. Big 7-0, a completely clean sheet so far, and we're almost halfway through this first half. Look at their money, 11,000 on both Gobi and Kiev. We were criticizing that AWP earlier, but there's nothing to criticize now. He's finding kills left, right, and center. And Na'Vi feeling the pressure. Have got out this double up setup. Infamous on train, and actually quite worthwhile on train. Flamey, Simple, both utilizing and whipping out them. Obviously Big just watching and waiting back. Is it Na'Vi? Might be throwing a spanner in the works, might be getting slightly aggressive. You can see the main point of aggression is Simple. Over towards that B site with the AWP, just watching it. And this allows a 4-1 setup.
Oh. That is quite a nice bit of damage done. Tapson just hit in the foot though. So it is not a lethal shot, and that's all that matters to Na'Vi. Then building up a lead, finally like getting a 5v4, 5v3 start would have been something. And here we go, Simple manages to get rid of Legia. So 1-man lead indeed is there, and shortly we could have tabseN dead. And Edward sees him as soon as the smoke disappears. That was a little bit unlucky of a timing from tabseN too. The flashbang didn't manage to go off before he picked up the fight. Bomb side B, big 3v5, a lot of damage delivered up towards next before he gets finished off by Simple. Zeus getting the assist on that, but right after he gets traded back by Garb, and Garb is able to get 2, but then 2 lost in return at the same time. Electronic and Flamey, that's their credit. 7-1, first round for Na'Vi finally. Is it the time where they bounce back? It often could be that situation where you think that, yeah, you've got 3-0 after winning the pistol round. That's cool. Here comes the first full buy. You win this, it's still all right. 5-0 is not too big of an advantage to be so happy about it. But when the losing team loses the second full buy, that's where it gets really dire. That's where it gets to the 7-0 scoreline, and you could get maybe a little bit discouraged. But this is also usually the moment they finally break through. They know they cannot allow the enemies to take any more rounds of an advantage. And here's Na'Vi, indeed, finding 1 in return. But 1 for 1 to open up this round. Legia for Simple.
Yeah, Simple, that frag was so quick. Down onto the B site, Flamey actually being smoked off. Needs to get into a more contentious position. Looks for the first and does actually find it. It's big. Actually rotate onto this B site. Edward, Na'Vi, is so close. Are finding these frags. Edward does find his first as well. Electronic's up back as well. So big being wrapped in towards this B site. Electronic right behind. Should be able to catch Nex in the back. Edward drawing in as well. Na'Vi tightening the net. There's a frag, a headshot. Edward almost finishes off the job, but it's Electronic instead. The 2 E's, EE. Not the phone broadband service. Electronic and Edward do put the second round on the board.
Yeah, so Keith actually was able to pull the trigger before he died. That was maybe a little bit surprising after seeing Overpass, after his lack of presence on just the map that was finished a moment ago, in fact. And now back to the same setup. Big obviously have still quite a bit of money. Once again, the bomb was planted. Once again, it will be the AWP for Keith, but I want to see him opening up around. I want to see him with frags like Simple does this far. Sometimes pushing it up out there on bomb side B. This time, even when the push failed, when he was surprised by a lot of people, he still got a kill out of that. And once again, he's going to find it. Legia is gone. That's the kills that Kyiv needs to be making. Needs to proactively look for these. Na'Vi, as you can see, these AWPers aren't even like comfortably sitting in the back of the site or something.
Yeah, especially Simple. Over towards that B site, he's finding entry frags. That's 2 rounds in a row now. He's picked off Legia. Over towards that B site, looking up ramp, getting up close and personal, aggressive. Same mistake made twice in a row. And there's no backing there from Big this time. Obviously, Simple did it last round, got traded straight back out. This time he finds a clean, quick frag. And Big, they're actually looking to trade in here. Simple, if he was playing on this brown train, he'd be caught out. However, Kyiv, he's unable to find this frag, and the smokes are out. Na'Vi, they've already got 2 players over here. Edward will be a quick rotation in. Simple getting flashed off this angle. Smoked away as well. Can't find another angle of engagement. Zeus needs to find a kill here. Does actually rack up that first headshot. Still alive, waiting on this site, but gets wrapped in by tabseN as 2 kills come through for Big. Na'Vi need to move into this B bomb site. Edward tapping away at God B, stood all out in the open. And it's a 1 versus 3 for tabseN. He's actually assumed Gobby's old position. He's getting closer, drawing in. And Na'Vi haven't actually spotted him just yet, so he could be found, but Electronic from behind. Yet again, that insurance policy. 3 rounds, a trio for Na'Vi.
Yeah, but the bomb is planted again and again and again. They get that bits of money through, but it does not blow off all their worries at the moment, all the problems that they have. Big, they are still giving up the big advantage that they built up a little bit earlier. Just break through, grab 2 more rounds, and getting 9 off the T side of train would have been so amazing. Now we've got a little bit of a reload, I guess, in this round, as Na'Vi are missing 1 player. So that's 7-3.
Who is it? Who is it? Guess which player's gone. Can you remember? Can you get it? It's such a hard game.
No.
It's Flamey.
I'm not even looking at the players, so...
I win. I win.
All right.
The game. I'm terrible at that. when people are like, oh, who left? I have to like look at a data sheet to be able to get that. It's only because I know Na'Vi really well. Normally, if it was like any other team, I will. If it was big, if like Next would have left right there, I wouldn't have even noticed. I'd have been like, oh yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Even though Na'Vi, obviously it's not 0-0, it's, what is it, 8-3?
7-3.
7-3.
Yeah, big. If they could just get the 8th round, it will be nice. It will, even if just for the visual effect of it, it will be like they won the first half.
It's nice and round, isn't it? A number 8 instead of a pointy 7.
No, like, yeah.
Like, yeah.
But still, like, when it's 8-7 in your favor,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
8-7 in favor of the enemy team, it's just, like, I think it mentally works a little bit. But it still is a great first half, nevertheless. Even if they lose all the remaining rounds, it's going to be fine. But I'm worried about the momentum that Na'Vi will get that way. So at some point, you've got to break that momentum. You've got to chime in with a single round, even if you don't want any more. You cannot lose all in a row.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit funny that way, isn't it? How if you're maybe 8-0 down and then you bring it back to 8-7, it's very different than that happening in the opposite direction. Because Na'Vi, they'll be rocking and rolling at that point, maybe feeling fired up and ready to go into the second pistol round. And definitely those stars like Flamey, Simple, they've got to be feeling confident. And something that I want to allude to for Na'Vi, something that I've got to credit Zeus for, is he's obviously sent his troops more aggressive, especially Simple. He's kind of taken the leash off and allowed Simple to go for those aggressive picks. At 7-0, Na'Vi whipped out that double AWP setup, allowed Simple a bit more freedom to take picks up ramp, and he's found success actually 3 times in a row now. So,
and that success was gifted over to him by Big. We have to mention that. They
walked
out of the smoke. With no support. They had a smoke up there, and 2 times in a row somebody peeks out of it while the other guy just goes over to the upper to play around there. So that's kind of weird, kind of awkward, because Simple's always up there out there to meet them. And we might be expecting the upper to at some point just fall back, play a little bit more passively, just hide on that brown train, as you said, or construction.
Yeah, but not Simple. Not today, at least. He's been just such an aggressive player. And you're right, especially on train. You'd be used to seeing passive AWPers, maybe even more effective than the aggressive AWP players. When you're watching players like only maybe Fallen and Kenny Ass are 2 standout players that will be going aggressive, especially Fallen. He wants to be getting those opening picks. Very Simple-esque in his style. And today we've certainly been seeing that. I think Big, if they're going to be very content with this first half, they want to be putting another round, another 2 on the board, just to break that momentum, change of pace. It's not necessarily the rounds that matter, as we said earlier. It's more so just that momentum.
Yeah, the comfort, basically. And also, I had a point I wanted to talk about, but it's kind of slipping my mind right now as I speak. But another thing that I wanted to mention, I got it back, the double AWP. Flamey's picking up that second AWP from time to time, and in here it seems to be working, but that once again brings us to what we've seen on Overpass. So Big got quite a bit of rounds on the T side already, and then on the CT they might have the double AWP with Legia performing, and maybe Kiev a little bit better than on the previous map again. So yeah, it doesn't seem like they are in trouble at all. Because CT side might be even more impressive than the T side, and then Big are in a pretty safe spot. But as you said, and as I mentioned a little bit earlier, so we both just confirmed that momentum matters a lot. Losing 8 rounds in a row right here, it might lead into a victorious pistol round for Na'Vi, and there might not even be any time for Big to play a double AWP setup because they will have no money.
Simple getting aggressive again, looking for this opening pick. But Kiev is actually ready and waiting. Spots the hip, hits Simple. That's a nice opening frag. Simple, who's found the opening picks time after time, 3 in a row, cannot find it and make it 4-7 to Na'Vi. And Obviously, a double up setup for Big this time. Actually, not something that we're used to seeing, especially on the T side. They train very hard to find those openings unless Na'Vi are going to give them Electronic. It's going to swing out for 2. Looking for the 3rd and actually finds it. Switches up his angle of approach, and Na'Vi crushed down the B attack. Keeve here, waiting with the AWP, pretty much round over at this point. It's Zeus up close and personal, but Flamey finds the shot with the AWP, puts 1 on the board for him, but Electronic being such a crucial member, 4 rounds on the board for Na'Vi in a row.
Yep. I don't know, like Big finally figured out how to beat down Simple in that B site, but they went for a double up setup on the offense, not too convinced by that, and Tapson also rushed with the AWP, and he was among the victims that were taken by Electronic. So, well, that's kind of sour taste after this round for me.
Yeah, not a fan of that approach at all, personally. Flamey obviously watching up Heaven, could have had a smoke there to stop, to cut his visual off. Then Electronic would have been wrapped in on that B site. Didn't happen. Electronic able to swing out for 3. You can't give this man an inch, otherwise he will quite literally take a mile. Maybe again on this A site, 29 HP. It's going to find headshots. 2 for him once again, breaking Big apart. And just next with these pistols, only takes 1 more. 3 players from Na'Vi gone. Decent damage from Big, but shouldn't matter. Look at that money for Na'Vi. 10,000 on Flamey, 6,000 on Edward, 4,000 on Simple. Their money, they've got a decent buffer. It's Big starting to struggle.
Yeah, and it's also Big starting to not get the bomb planted. Like the 3 first rounds they lost against Na'Vi right here with the bomb plant, all of them. So money was flowing into the pockets right now. It might also become a little bit of a problem. They lost with a double up setup. Keeve's now playing without a helmet, and on the T side, it's not a thing that you see so often. It's just escaping them, that big lead that they built up, the confidence that they might have had. Also, the little break might have been good to cool their heads, but also if you still start losing after the break further, then it's really bad. It tilts you even further and more. And now 2 men lead to open it up for Big, but a reply quickly from Simple. He's also rotating around to that bomb site A when nothing's happening on B. He's active everywhere and at every time. But among the remaining CTs still are 2 orbs. So if Big were just to take a little bit of control of that bomb site right now, will be extremely hard for Simple and Flamey, who are now just the 2 remaining players in their team, to still do something. Flamey did catch a glimpse of Tapson, but Tapson did catch a little bit of damage on. 9 HP remaining on Flamey. Anything that hits him right now is going to take him down. With Simple gone, no hopes left. At least I don't believe in it, but Flamey believes very much, and he gets 1 kill, spotted another guy, but that electric box unfortunately robs him of the kill, and then was not able to recover any further. So Big, with the 8th round, at least they secured themselves the majority after the first half. They broke the huge streak of victories from Na'Vi. Right now, everything seems to be okay.
Finally, back to winning ways for Team Big after a lapse in concentration. 5 in a row for Na'Vi. Big finally get back on the board. 8th round, secured half. And Na'Vi, their economy isn't actually that good. Zeus was forced onto this CZ, and Tabson's able to find 2 early on. 4 versus 3 now as this double up setup looks very vulnerable. You kind of need the rifles surrounding these AWP players, especially on train. Otherwise, Big could get up close and personal. Throws a couple of Molotovs out, and Simple, he is back waiting and watching for Big to peek right into his crosshair. This is such a fast shot to be able to hit, but Simple, one of the players who has a very fast reaction type, should be able to nail it. You see next, wrapping in, spots out Edward, sidelines him right in the side of the head. And just these double ups again. Simple and Flamey yet again in a 2 versus 4.
Now these orbs don't seem to be such a strong point in the lineup of Na'Vi if they cannot find the opening kills, which has mostly been the case off the hands of Simple. And if Simple failed, if he folded, then Flamey was able to support, was able to take it back instantly. That's not happening anymore. Both of them are pretty ineffective 2 rounds in a row. Big taking their 9th right here for sure. But will they take that up home too? As you said, not a lot of money on the side of the CTs. And indeed, they lose both the sniper rifles. And walking into the last round of the first half, they've got nothing to work with. 2,000 at most on these players, which will lead to CZs, Kevlars, and just a bit of grenades.
Obviously, Big were actually looking like they were kind of struggling. Earlier in this half, obviously 5 in a row for Na'Vi. Now it looks like they could finally actually take double digits. They've got a great buy in Na'Vi, backed pistols, forcing with the CZs, the single deagle, Kevlar all round, and they're edging closer to this stack. Gobby up top, going to be able to funnel them in and find both frags. Na'Vi can't make it work.
What?
Then Gobby's going to be the first man in. Actually hits another headshot. Na'Vi shut down once again.
The 2 people go in through the smoke, they die, and after they die, Simple throws a flashbang at the smoke. Like, what? That seems
not quite
bit weird.
Coordinated. And that's maybe some of the growing pains of a new team. Without that coordination and calculation, they would normally see Na'Vi have, Big have. Very great, well, very good teamwork from both of these teams historically, but maybe not seeing it too much on this CT side of train.
We're still chipping a little bit away. Garb down to very low HP. Oh, another person. That's Nyx down to very similar amounts. But it is 10-5 after all. Some kills out there wouldn't have changed anything. But a flawless round for Big is nevertheless going to be, once again, a little bit of a boost of confidence. 10-5. Double digits off the T side of train. This looks pretty good, and it's tough to find an answer to that if you're Na'Vi. Pistol round's going to mean so much. Just with the pistol round victory, Big might already secure themselves the win in the entire best of 3, the spot in the main tournament in the Farmskins WCA 2017, not qualifiers anymore.
Yeah, lots of money on the line, of course. Lots of pressure mounting up. Big, Na'Vi, 2 teams, lots of players. Very well acquainted with pressure at this point. Obviously, Big, major playoff stars. Na'Vi as well. Not quite making the playoffs at Krakow, but looking to maybe make it back to the major in January. Na'Vi getting shut down early on, and Flamey hits a crucial shot. Big wrapping back into this A site. The bomb already dropped in. That's a nice fast frag from Tabson. Gobby as well chips in, and it's just Electronic left. P250 in hand. Oh, turns 180 degrees, and they're wrapping him behind him. He's got this position, but Big knows exactly where he is. Tabson moves in, but right to his crosshair. Electronic's the sort of man who can make this clutch happen. This young star looking for a couple more frags on their second pistol round to keep Na'Vi in this tournament, in the running to make WCA 2017, getting tapped down by Gobby, and he does find that frag. 11 for Big. That could be the match secure.
Yeah, could definitely be, but it's still not over yet. You have to keep it in mind. There's still a possibility to bounce back, to instantly break Big right now if they can just, with the force buy, neutralize them. 2 scouts coming into play. Flamey and Electronic this time around. Simple's not going to be playing with that kind of a weapon. And let's see what they can do with it. But I just don't like the situation. I don't feel anything good in the air. Simple still alive after that Mag 7 assault from Gobby. He even passes in an HE, but it's not able to finish the guy off with it.
Na'Vi obviously feeling the pressure here. Gone for a follow-up buy. Clearly could have gone for Galil's a couple of AKs in the 3rd round. Gone for an opening buy if they needed it. They could have had a full buy in the 4th, but that would have given away a lot of rounds to Big. Clearly don't want these Germans rolling anymore. Tabson finds that opening headshot, and again onto Edward, getting actually tagged down. Throws in a follow-up Molotov as Edward has to back off. Na'Vi, look at this HP. It's so dire and low. 34, 16, 18. On Na'Vi, just makes this Mag 7, the SMGs, all that more brutal. Just one bullet on multiple of these players is enough to take each and every frag. Next, going to be the first man in, but Zeus actually finds him, pistol in hand. Now Tabson does a bunch of damage on this site. 30 seconds left, but Tabson and Keeve both finding frags. Zeus again chips in for his second. There are no nades, no HEs left, as this bomb doesn't quite go down just yet. Finally being able to scramble it down on this site. Simple just waiting and watching for this angle, but with only 15 seconds left, he's got to plant it soon. C4 in hand, when's he going to go for it? Big just waiting. As Simple all out in the open, going to give himself, sacrifice to Keeve. 12 for Big.
I don't understand. Why didn't they plant the bomb? They got the control of that bomb train, and sure, that was a risk. Somebody could have been around the corner, but it is some money. I don't think that they still had the hopes of winning this round anymore. In such a situation, with everybody, not only Simple, with everybody else before, so low on health, they still thought that they could win a 1v3 or something along these lines. All right, the possibility was there after the ace from Simple on overpass. Nothing will surprise us, but that was a little bit too much, it seems. Electronic's going to spot out Caps's head through the gap of the smoke right there, and Simple's going to get a headshot on Guppy, and this time around, they don't even force up. They are playing with just pistols, not even backed up by Kevlars, but this seems like much better of a chance.
Yeah, lots of damage with those nades. Next drawing in, UMP in hand. He can slice and dice his unarmored opponents as he sweeps through both headshots as well. Flamey has to back off. He's only got a Glock in hand. As Simple with this Max 7 has to do big work. He's all alone in another 1-on-3. Simple sweeps through the smoke, but Key finds him. 13 for Big. They're drawing ever so close to China.
Yeah. But that was the real deal. Actually, the heavy force from Na'Vi would have been a force buy anyway, but not with scouts, most likely, with some different pistols in that lineup. Then they went for an eco, so they have a solid 4-buy secured for themselves with the bomb plant coming in this round. But imagine them planting the bomb in the previous two. They would have the possibly, maybe even 2 AWPs if they wanted it, but they would have had the leisure to choose. Now, not looking that much. Electronics going to grind down Guard B, so that's 1-man lead for them. They rush out into that bomb site A, 1-for-1 here. Next is not able to take more than just a single person, down to very low HP before the second duel. Now Leggy has got not too bad of a position. He's going to tack down 2 people, and at the same time Keith chimes in. Where's Dabson? He's coming in up from behind at them. He's got the bomb in his control, and Electronic is up against the 2 people right now. What a perfect flashbang, but he was reloading the weapon as he was looking at the guy right in front of him. The life was still given up from Electronic, as that's the 14th round. Still belted in by Big. Then these guys just want more and more, and they could indeed make it a one-sided scoreline. So I guess your prediction finally could be right, but
Squid CS, man. Squid CS, follow me on Twitter. That's what I have to say. I am just a master.
Yeah, because he predicted that Na'Vi would win one-sidedly. So follow him on Twitter.
Either way, Big. Looked like a good situation for Na'Vi just then. Bit of a lapse of judgment on that A site. Not able to really follow it up and find it through. But Big here, looking to close this one out. Obviously a terrible situation for Na'Vi. So many rounds back, and Nex is even going to find that first shot. Here come the reinforcements. Tabson going to make his way in. Has to find the shot on Edward. And he does rattle off a nice fast headshot. Follows it up with the spray down. This might be match series tournament point for Big. They might be making their way over in just a few moments. Na'Vi 3 versus 5. Have to pull this one back if they want a chance to make it to China. Through the 8 main area, and Simple's going to be the first man in. Aided by a flashbang, gives himself a little bit of cover on towards the A site. Nice fast headshot for Simple as Gobby gets eliminated. Next, just dodging and weaving on this site. Reinforcements pile in as Simple finds another frag. Up onto green train now is Simple, looking to mow them all down. A triple for him, and Tabson's in a horrible situation. 34 HP, M4 in hand, not able to do anything.
And it still could be dangerous. I mean, the scoreline looks smashing for Na'Vi. The hopes might still be there, though. I remind you, in the first half, they got a big streak going with a lot of rounds taken in one whole swoop, and could be doing again But it's T-side. It's going to be tough. They still have to be building up their economy. And I don't know if it's possible to take Big down off that monument now that they are so hyped up, now that they are so close.
Yeah, so fired up. And look at their money this time. Would hate to see Big go for a full buy here with such low money, trying to force the issue. Obviously, they're so far ahead. Even if Na'Vi take this one round, they'll be dwarfing the scoreline, doubling the scoreline of the CIS squad. 7-14, but these 5 rifles, 4 AKs and an M4 on Zeus can pile in and should shred these unarmored opponents.
This round, not too much of a meaning. If we're talking about Big, if they're not able to win it, then it's going to change the outcome. Just a couple of kills could be valuable, though. On the other hand, still, some of the players on Big side had less than $2,000. Some of them had 2K, and there was Legia with a lot more. He had 5,000. So maybe he'll be dropping to one of these people with just 1K, but their situation still isn't perfect after they wait or sit this one out. Another kill. Zeus is going to try and tap down Tabson 2, who's waiting in the IV just for his death, most likely. And that is granted by Simple. The last man standing, Legia, spotted out by Electronic, who was quite low in health, but he still secures the round flawlessly for the team. Somehow could be important to Na'Vi, but the economy is not really an issue to them anymore because Big don't need much.
Wow,
they're
Big
not
are
going to be
actually-
resetting
yeah.
the economy of Na'Vi.
Look, Big are actually going to go for another eco here, making sure they've got a maximum full buy before going for much investment at all. Just a scout, a couple of pistols, 2 sets of Kevlar for Big. Not all too much at all before Na'Vi go for this play. They know Na'Vi play the best Counter-Strike when their back's against the wall. That previous round, just hitting headshot time after time. Smokes, flashes, piling in towards A. Should be an easy round for Na'Vi. Feel like they're probably going to be expecting guns here, but instead greeting an AK God B. No Kevlar left, only on Tabson, as Big probably look to be conceding this round again. Smoke, look to be planted. Key spots out that foot, and Zeus is going to be able to take off, rattle away a couple of headshots right from behind. Edward finds another one, and Na'Vi stands strong. 2 flawless rounds for them.
Good for them for sure, but once again, the rounds being flawless does not matter so much. If Big start winning, then they will just close out the map. It's not about breaking the economy of Na'Vi. They will have for 2 full buys in a row, that for sure, and that's all that's left. Big just needs to win 2 rounds. So they will have to play against rifles all the time, Big. That might be their challenge. And they have to work on their own economy very intensively, like they've proven that by playing 2 ecos in a row. Now, Eve with the orb. I would love to believe in him, but somehow not really able to after seeing the second half was best of 3, so Keith's gonna fall after getting a kill in Electronics. That's quite an important hit right there, but I don't think that we should be looking for star players in Na'Vi. All of these players could be extremely dangerous. Doesn't even matter if Zeus plants that bomb, there's just Tabson left. With 1 minute remaining on the clock, they could even run around the map and find him. But obviously, it's important to not make any stupid mistakes.
A little heartbreaking for Big here. Obviously, they've saved for a fair bit. 2 rounds in a row, going for the double eco to be able to afford this bite, and they don't get anything from it. Only a pair of frags, and Tabson looking for a little bit more, a little bit of damage onto Na'Vi as they do look to pile in towards him. Zeus actually getting shot in the face as well. So Tabson doing decent damage, but it's not going to be a round win here. Not what Big was looking for. They're looking for this series and championship point here, looking to be able to take themselves to China, obviously. And we're down by Edward there. 9 rounds, almost double digits for Na'Vi. Going to be facing another big eco here.
Tabson doing as much as he could, though. Flamey was down to 20 HP, so that could have been an easy kill too, but only to get another $300 for himself, and maybe for a chance to say, hold on to this M4. Could he have his Kate? Don't know really about that, but we'll not find out too soon. And again, Big with Very little, and that's so much different from Na'Vi. On both Cobblestone and Overpass, Na'Vi, when they were close to losing, they would be forcing up over and over and over and over again. Well, if we're talking about big, these guys are ecoing for infinity.
James Banks actually called this the match of the week in their article, and obviously delivering 3 maps, all fairly closely contested, and we've seen some high-level Counter-Strike from both teams. Big, giving us this team coordination. Obviously ecoing again. I think Na'Vi's probably going to roll through it. Na'Vi, obviously, the star power of Simple and Electronic, both shining through. Here comes next, though, with the Deagle, looking for a follow-up, but Edward is going to be able to slice him out. Tabs him from behind once again. Maybe becoming a little bit predictable. Been spotted from that position multiple times. It's Edward, shot after shot, all headshots, racks up 3.
Keeve, he's picked up that AK-47. It could have been so good, just killing Edward, the only guy on full HP. Would have created a pretty awkward situation for Na'Vi, where 2 remaining players would go down to just a single shot of that AK available for Keeve. So 4 rounds difference, it's getting a little bit closer. Big once again with a 4-buy, and what if this doesn't work out? Then it's going to get quite sloppy. Then indeed Na'Vi will be pretty close, and who knows, maybe another overtime, just like an Overpass.
Perhaps. We're in a very similar situation to we saw earlier on Overpass, but Big do seem to have this comeback potential as well, when the momentum isn't on their side, but certainly Na'Vi, shot after shot, Electronic and Simple, the dream duo, pairing in a duo with frags right there, on to Keeve and Legia.
Keeve missing the shot also is just so crucial right there. That would not have happened on Cobblestone, but the Cobblestone days are over. Now, the further this best of 3 goes, it seems like Keeve's AWP possibilities are depleting, which is really weird. And I know that I've been talking about how Keeve is just such a star player on the German side. A lot of the times I've been casting alternates matches. He's normally a beast, throwing down these 30 bombs.
Oh, I love that. Did you see that? Edward actually shot the wall as I think it was Electronic dropped, so to bait the footstep down, so you can't hear the jump on through. And Big actually faked out by that, pushed over to B. 3 players going to be saving these M4s. Nice little touch from Na'Vi.
It's always lovely to see, like on Cash, when people are running into A main, there's somebody spraying at the ceiling out there. But there we go. Next and Taps is still able to find some kills, and they're making it into a 2v2, quote unquote. But there is no chance to win the round, so there is no 2v2 at all. Na'Vi will still probably be willing to find these frags because they have just as much money as they might want to. As I mentioned, if they are to start losing, then they will never drop down to an eco. They would just lose the map instantly.
Yeah. Obviously Big, as you said, not important that they find those frags for Na'Vi's economy's sake. Instead, instead keeping their own rifles alive, trading that M4 up to an AWP, trading Tapson's M4 up to an AK-47, both better weapons, and the German side have something to work with here. You can see Tapson will be able to drop over an M4. Buys all round for Legia and Nex. As Big, it's 1 out of possibly 2 or 3 final attempts at closing out this series. Otherwise, Na'Vi, the CIS beasts, might be making the way over. You couldn't have written this any better. Two close maps where each team took their own, and then a closely contested train being maybe... I build this as maybe the best series, and it certainly has delivered from start to finish. Incredibly exciting. Gobi going for this Mag 7. Obviously not comfortable. You saw that from JW, for instance, on train. In the days he wasn't feeling comfortable with the rifles. He would switch to a Mag 7, switch to any shotgun, in fact. Switch to these gimmicky weapons to find a couple of jokey kills. And it is actually fairly successful. Gobi going for it this time. Na'Vi's approach, looking for their 12th round.
Well, there we are. 1 round that could actually mean quite a lot. As if Big lose this one, and they don't manage to save anything up, and once again back to some quasi-buys.
Big nade, look at that. Edward Zeus. Zeus not down that low, but Edward gets slapped down to 50 HP.
Yeah, but will there be finishers? That's what worries me the most. Absent's going to get a little bit of support right here. Legia is joining in the fray, and the fray. Nothing's yet happening, but the fray's about to go down, actually.
Legia looking for this nade on through. Oh, a follow-up as well. This is actually going to be a slam dunk onto Na'Vi. Look at that, half HP for 3 players before they make this push on in. That actually rattles them right out the hole. Legia going to make that first frag, but Na'Vi actually chipping in with 2 of their own. At 4 versus 3 now as the bomb's going to go down fairly fast, heavy-handedly. Big having to fall back. Gobby's very low. Keeve's got an AWP. An impossible retake, wanting to hold on to these rifles.
I would trade 3 people on even 15 HP for a single kill any day. There was no info for Big, actually, what is happening, that somebody got tagged down or anything like that. So that was no real advantage. They only got a single kill out of that, I think.
Yeah,
I think it was Flamey, the other one tagged down, not Electronic. Electronic, by the way, found 2 kills anyway, so even if he was on 50 HP, then it didn't really change much.
Still liking the nades from Big. They're throwing in these sort of plays to throw Na'Vi off guard, and you saw it really quickened up the pace, didn't it? They threw the first nade in, and Na'Vi were like, okay, right, we're going to hold back. They threw the second nade in, and they were like, crap, we've got to go right now, otherwise this third one's going to fall through. We're going to have no health to go for this push. Big's already going to be on map point, but didn't happen. Big still stuck on 14.
And another pause that we're seeing right here, and it is getting quite close and personal between these 2 teams. We're talking about the scoreline, and we're seeing 2 AWPs from Big. I don't know if that's a positive thing or a negative thing. We're about to find out. This is the ultimate and final moment where Keeve has to perform with the sniper rifle, and the question is about Legia. He's not really decided to play with that AWP at all throughout train. So is he going to be comfortable enough? Is this the moment to pick it up? As it's not tested yet here on train. Maybe it will also fail completely. Maybe he expects something like on overpass and he's just going to be completely disappointed, and that could break them entirely.
Yeah, remember that Na'Vi, they were 7-0 down earlier until they got out that double AWP setup. Very reminiscent of what's going on now. Na'Vi taking a lot of rounds, and Big stuck on 14. The first time they've been able to afford the 2 snipers this whole map. Na'Vi looking to just play a fairly default approach, stretch across this map, 3 towards B. All stretched out. 1-man pop, dog team and B, waiting for any big pushes, knowing that sometimes in these sort of situations, Big will elect to go for the save, not play too aggressively with their economy, and instead push with the pistols. Na'Vi setting up outside this B site. Just Tabson over here. A lot of pressure on the shoulders of this German star. He has the M4 in hand and support from Nex right here, but Nex is going to go down before he can do anything. Electronic finds both, bursts on, and this should be another sealed deal for Na'Vi.
Double up setup, obviously you have to save it up. So both Keeve and Legia just getting away from there. And
okay.
Yeah, it seemed like something was bugged out with the bomb. 14-13, 1 round discrepancy between the teams. The difference between these 2 teams is Big lose, they're gonna start to feel the economical pressure. The difference between Big and Na'Vi is the Na'Vi don't really care about that money anymore.
Yeah,
it's
Na'Vi
all
have been
about
so
just
steady.
winning.
That's 1 AWP gone as well. Big falters here for Big. How are they going to keep hold of these pair of weapons? Gobby still clinging onto that Mag 7. There's the AWP gone. Probably not going to be able to cling onto it any longer. Locked into the corner with Zeus firmly approaching. Gobby going to find 1 more, survive, but actually keeps back that AWP. Going to be able to drop that over to Keeve as well, who's got 19 frags. Not a standout performance. Gobby on 18, Next on 19 as well, all 3 players. hang towards the middle of the scoreboard. It's Tabson being the main man here on Team Big on 25 kills. Na'Vi approaching this B site. It's actually Kiev up close and personal with the AWP. That Molotov whiffed, obviously Simple. Bit of a lapse in judgment there, a little bit of a lapse in confidence. Na'Vi looking to set up around B, but there is a stack here for Big. If this isn't sniffed out, if they walk right into this one, they could get ground up by these pistols. These sets of Kevlar, and Simple's going to be in first. Here come the nades and smokes. Simple's going to be first out, but he can't spot anything. It's got B, Legia both find kills. There's got B with another one. Picks up the AK-47, a 2 versus 4 now. Zeus has to go huge from above. A 1 versus 4 for him as he finds 2, but Tabson finishes off the job. Match point for Big.
Tabson from behind, the whipped Molotov, then another toss right underneath his feet. Then they can hear Na'Vi just flying into bomb site. Tabson instantly climbs up the ladder, comes in from behind, switches up the CZ for an AK. Next for an AWP. He was just juggling the weapons and he was just bathing himself in the blood of Na'Vi. Now 15-13 that we're seeing on our screens, and this might so much lead us to the overtime, because Na'Vi, that winning streak, it's impossible to believe that it's just over.
Feel like we could be seeing overtime right now. I think you're totally right. Obviously, Big starting to get aggressive in this one. It's Gorby pushing up close. Isn't going to check these angles, but nevertheless, nobody here. Electronic finds the first frag. There's Legia to trade it back, 4 versus 4. But you see Gorby, he's taking so much map control all the way in here to A main. Kiev's going to find another one, a follow-up onto Edward. Headshot at the side of the map, but Gorby up close and personal. He needs to be the point man. Hits it. The drive-by as well. Simple's got to finish him off as well. Oops out, Deagle's through, but Simple actually finds the frag. Able to back off with the AWP as well, but he is the last player alive. He is stuck, going for this rotate over towards B.
Legia gets 1 kill in the Ivy. He's in the middle of nowhere because there's another guy pinning him down. And then he just falls back and nobody pays attention. I think it was Zeus, and he didn't peek at him. And Legia was out in the open right there. And after he's fallen back from the Ivy, he just goes through again. And again strikes some people down from behind, leaving Simple all alone. He's got a Deagle and an AWP. He's still got some grenades though, so I might back him up, but Kiev's going to kill him off from the side. That is not what Na'Vi wanted to see, not what they expected after they made such a big comeback.
A 16-13 for Big, making 2-1 on that decider.